Welcome back. We're joined again by Peter Shawn Taylor, Senior Features Editor at the C2C Journal. Peter, again, picking up our discussion, one of the highlights of the latest article you wrote, the piece you wrote for the C2C, was kind of sounding the alarm, especially on behalf of the private daycare operators. They're concerned that they're essentially going to be pushed out of business. Why do they get this impression, or how are they experiencing this?
Well, as I said, it's a national daycare program, but daycare is a provincial responsibility. So Ottawa has been required to sign individual deals with every province and territory. And what we're seeing is that, Ottawa, as I explained, has this predisposition to prefer not-for-profit daycare, or they seem to dislike for-profit daycare for ideological reasons. And so what we're seeing is these different provincial deals roll out, where Ottawa had quite a bit of leverage. It appears that they've created terms that are inimical to the for-profit daycares operating as successful independent businesses. We see that in Nova Scotia, where a liberal provincial government signed a deal quite quickly in order to get it done before a provincial election. Their daycare operators have been told that they can't get access to the federal subsidies they need to be able to offer $10 a day daycare unless they basically give over complete operational control of their business to what they call a new central organization that will be run by the government, or they can convert to nonprofit.
That's crazy. But that's crazy sounding. So a private entrepreneur is going to hand over their business to the government, or else?
Basically,
or else what? They shut down? Or are you not?
Well,
that sounds crazy to me.
They won't get access to the subsidies, so they'll be charging $45, $50, $60 a day for daycare, and then the nonprofit down the street will be charging $10. So, how's that going to end? In Ontario, the same thing seems to have happened. They're told that unless bureaucrats will be given control over these for-profit daycares, they'll be able to tell them whether they can replace the toys that the kids play with, whether they can paint the walls. These bureaucrats will be given the power to set a maximum allowable profit margin. Although if you talk to the daycare operators, they'll say there's not going to be any profit because they will not be compensated for expenses like property taxes, mortgage payments, retirement packages, the sorts of things that businesses can't avoid. So there's a real confusion, I would think, among for-profit operators in many provinces. They were told that they were going to be part of this federal deal, and then when they look at the fine print, they say, "Well, I can't sign this. This would bankrupt me." A lot of them have told me. Now, and to be fair, this is not the case in every province. You go to Alberta, for-profit daycare operators are quite content because there, you talk to the government. I talked to the minister. She said, we fought very hard. Ottawa was pushing for a not-for-profit delivery, and Alberta pushed back. And they said, no, our commercial operators are a very important component of our system. So we're seeing quite a large diversity in systems, how this federal system is going to roll out. And in some provinces, you're hearing from for-profit operators that saying that, if I sign on, it's going to bankrupt me. So that causes some real problems for this concept of a national system. Sorry.
It sounds like they're being pitted between a rock and a hard place. But I didn't think, well, this is going to sound silly for me to say, but I didn't think I'd see the day where the government is now competing with entrepreneurs who run businesses to provide childcare. And again, in a climate where childcare, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but childcare is so in demand. There are many folks who are looking for childcare spots, and you always hear the wait lists are 2 years long. As soon as you become expectant, make sure you register and hold your spot. Definitely by the time you give birth, because if you need that spot in 1 year, well, you're going to be on a long wait list regardless. So this to me makes no sense. If we're so in demand for these spots, regardless of cost, why would we be trying to run these businesses out of town?
And just to add another layer on this, keep in mind, these are generally for-profit daycares are run by female entrepreneurs. These are people that have put their life savings into a center because they generally have a deep desire to be in this industry, or they found that the services provided for their kids didn't meet their standards, so they want to exceed what's available. So it's doubly puzzling that the federal government, which makes a great deal of being, gender focused, and they, in the same 2021 budget, there was also another component to aid female entrepreneurs. And what are they doing here? They're seem to be driving
Right.
female entrepreneurs out of business in some provinces. So it
Okay,
is.
we're gonna
Sure.
pick up this discussion right when we return in a few moments.